first of the roses starting to bloom. There's a lot about to come out here. This actually smells so good, so fragrant. But yeah, nice to see growth just cleared underneath, just to give these a little bit more breathing space and to separate them. But yeah, it's just going to be 1 or 2 roses. Peas, glorious peas. So for about the last week now, I've been enjoying my daily couple of pods of peas. Don't worry, Sam, I'm gonna give you one if you're lucky. This is I think one of the best uses for a polytunnel early in the season is just, even if it's a few plants, to get some pea pods going. So sweet, so delicious. Best snack you could possibly ask for. Maybe like if you want something sweet, well, these are very sweet, but we've also got the strawberries. But yeah, just this is barely taking up any space. It's a semi-dwarfing variety, so it's reached its full height. I think even if you have a really small polytunnel, anyone can fit in some pea plants for that early flavour to really kind of kickstart the new season of harvests. So we've got some other peas here, just showing a very simple structure with the string, in case you haven't seen my easy trellis video. But all I'm doing just to make sure that they stay up is I'm just kind of like gently encourage them, not too much, that's enough for now, but kind of just gently encourage them a little bit behind the string. And I've just noticed that the first little pea pod for this is ready. But yeah, again, sometimes you just need simple structures. And then underneath, enjoying a bit of the shade, are these lettuces. So in about a week or 2, we can start harvesting these lettuce, and then you can see the inlet for the soaker hose, which is going, and it's buried underneath these tomato plants here. So in terms of watering, very easy, just plug it in and it's sorted. And the tomatoes have really, they've been in a week and they're putting on a lot of good growth. Right, time to plant some spuds. So these purple sprouting broccoli have served us very well. The bees, this bumblebee here, a lot of bees have been enjoying it. Hello. And but now it's time to pull these out and plant in some potatoes. So I'm just going to clear this bed, and I'm going to do kind of a very simple no-dig potato growing of mulching with grass clippings. Keep it very simple. We did the exact same thing last year and it worked really well. So I'm going to try and keep as many of the roots in by going in and twisting them out. But yeah, all this is going to go onto the compost. So the stems, which are getting fairly sizable now, just before I put it on the compost, I'll just bash the stem up with like a brick or something just to help it break down sooner. Oh, this is a funny shaped one. Impressive. Right, I think I'll walk a few over to the chickens and say good morning to them. Happy chooks. Good morning, compost machines. Time for your daily greens. It's refreshing to see things get excited about brassica leaves.
I get excited about brassica leaves.
Yeah, me too, if it's in kimchi form. Come on. Watch out. There we go. In here you can see where we've done the exact same thing. So this is like a before and an after. So they'll just completely strip it down bare. Then I can just come in with a mallet, break this up and just add it to the deep mulch in effect. But I'll let you guys get on with it, yeah? Hello. Come on. So I'm just gonna quickly remove the rest of the greenery, and there's some evidence that potatoes were planted here last year. And I'm just going to keep this planting very nice and simple. There you go. There's a mini spud. So next stage is just going to, using my hands almost like a rake, is just to make sure it's fairly even. Cool, and now I'm just going to firstly lay out the spuds at like kind of rough approximate distances, and then I'll kind of dig a little hole, very small, just with the trowel to bury them. 10 points if you can guess what variety I'm sowing. What variety am I sowing, Sam?
Sapamera?
Oh, how did you know? It's been really dry the last kind of couple of, last few weeks. So I'm going to have to give these a good soaking and a good mulching. So all I'm doing is just like clearing a little bit of soil underneath and putting them just in a bit of a little hole. And then the main thing is actually building mulch on top. Going to form the initial layer. So now I've planted these, I'm more than happy to I'll start kind of splitting up this seaweed, but I'm going to start to just place this over the potatoes. Now I'm not worried about the sea salt on these. If you are ever worried about it, you can just give the seaweed a bit of a rinse, or if there's rain on the forecast, just lay it out on the ground, let a rain kind of wash away, and then it's fine. Never bothered.
I mean, it's nice having a bit of salt with your chips, isn't it?
It is, exactly.
Pre-salted chips.
Yeah, pre-seasoned tatties. So this first bag I'm just going to kind of throw over all of the spuds, and I'll spread the other bag out and around. Something that I heard recently, I don't know if it's legit or not, but it's that seaweed, especially when it's dried, slugs don't like it because it's fairly kind of hard, a little bit sharp edges. It's not going to, it's not going to hurt you, but I don't know whether that's true or not. It's just someone who had been growing using seaweed their whole life. Seaweed is the only thing that they use for fertility on their garden. So yeah, quite an interesting one, that.
It makes sense as well, doesn't it? And if it's salty,
yeah, that's true.
They won't like that either.
Well, we'll see what happens. No pun intended. We'll see what happens. Sorry, I'll see myself out. I'll go hide behind the field beans. All right.
Actually, a good idea of like how tall those are now. It's like you stood next to it.
I'm down. Hello.
They're 1 hue big.
Well, yeah, or more. I mean,
how tall are you?
6'1.5".
It's the half that counts. Here he comes, emerging.
Well, I've kind of fallen in love with that field bean forest.
Yeah, it's nice.
There's a lot of beans on the way as well. Now I'm just going to get, say, a bunch of old grass clippings to give a good mulch over the top. That'll be the first mulch, and then maybe in 2 weeks' time when I do another fresh grass cut, I'll put kind of like an inch or two of fresh grass clippings over the top as a cap. So it's probably an important thing for me to mention that this is, we're not actually using any compost at all to grow these potatoes, we're just using mulch materials instead. Just showing that like, the cost of this is, it's just the time for gathering the materials and the potato seeds themselves, but then if you save your own potato seed, or seed potatoes, it's just a nice way. And then what this is going to do is massively regenerate this soil, And so next year, it will have been like you've mulched this with really high quality compost, because it will all have broken down by then. And then that's when you can it moves in succession to then doing more kind of annual crops, especially hungry ones. Like imagine planting some pumpkins in this next year. Whew. So that's all planted up. It's just a really small space. It's about 3 square meters in size. And now I wait for the spuds to grow. Sam thought that you guys might be interested in an update on the potato towers. I have nothing to do with this. This is Llŷr versus Lucy, a grow off, trying different number of potatoes, kind of different mulch style. It's nice to see the spuds. I mean, there's more spuds growing out the sides here. I don't actually know whose is whose, so I can't be biased about this. So yeah, there's some growing up here, but it's interesting to see. I cannot wait to kind of see what happens. The growth is looking good. I shouldn't interfere, but there's
sabotage.
Yeah, sabotage. Oops, sorry. Just thought, for those of you who are growing soft fruit outside, if you want a very simple, semi-permanent, or well, temporary structure idea for covering the crops. So we're going to have netting going over. These are just water pipes that were screwed into the fence, and then we're going to put netting over the top, not quite ready yet, and then so this creates essentially a mini soft fruit cage. And next year it's going to be even better, because we're going to underplant strawberries amongst the red currants and the gooseberries here, and then on the back fence we're going to be growing loads of sylvanberries and some thornless blackberries. And so we'll have 4 or 5 different types of soft fruit in compost within this like little protected area with netting. So the idea is you just put the netting down, keep it down with stones, and then remove the stones, lift it up, and you can just enter at one end and harvest bird free. Bit more of a message to share. So I know I had a few comments recently about people being concerned about scaling up and getting out of touch with the current videos and audience. So the main thing to say is, in a sense, next year I'm downscaling, because this space behind me is about, well, it's smaller than an allotment plot, and it is going to be my new proper kitchen garden. I can't show it to you right now because of a really important project that I'm working on, which will all, that it'll all make sense later in the year. But next year, this is where a lot of my videos are going to be. So I'm actually downscaling the size and hopefully upping the yield per square meter and sharing that journey. And also thanks so much to my wonderful patrons for supporting these videos that we do here.